Who would go home happy? That's the question. PA native and Buckeyes QB Will Howard talked about the matchup against his childhood team a week ago.
I'm stoked. I cannot wait. It's going to be a homecoming for me. I grew up a Penn State fan. I wanted to go there my whole life. They didn't think I was good enough. But I guess we'll see next week if I was.
All right, fighting words, but I love it by Will Howard. But I think he was too pumped up early. He was so excited. Here 3rd and 5 from their own 30 for Ohio State. Will Howard, but this is going to be picked off. Zion Tracy will take it back for the pick 6. Next Ohio State possession, Howard throwing back right. Look who's open. Emeka Egbuka for the touchdown. Ohio State cuts the lead to 10-7. Early second, same score. Ohio State, 3rd and 11 from their own 31. Will Howard back to work, and he's feeling it now. He's connected with Carnell Tate. He went down short of the first down, but there's a flag on the play. Elliott Washington II is called for unsportsmanlike conduct for stepping over Tate. You can't do that. So the drive continues for Ohio State, and later in the drive, 2nd and 8 from the Penn State 21. Howard fakes the toss, and then he's going to find Brandon Inniss for the touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Howard, by the way, in this one, in his revenge, redemption, whatever you want to call it. Ohio State takes a 14-10 lead. Under 20 seconds to go in the half, same score. Penn State, 1st and goal from the Buckeyes 3. Drew Aller. Harrison Walls the third, but the pass incomplete. However, the corner, Davidson Igbinosun, seems to think he has a pick. Let's take another look. Does he? Did he get his foot down in bounds? The play would be reviewed and overturned. Interception for Ohio State. And the Buckeyes are able to keep Penn State out of the end zone at the end of the half. That was huge because the score remained 14-10. Under 8 minutes to go in the game, Penn State down 7. Nittany Lions, 1st and goal from the Ohio State 3. Katron Allen gets stuffed. James Franklin is like, wait, what happened? Next play, Allen gets the handoff again, and he stopped short of the goal line. Penn State struggling to get into the end zone. 3rd and goal from the 2, Allen. Again, stopped short. The same exact play. Yikes. Penn State now with one last chance. 4th and goal from the 1. Aller tries something different. Tries to hit Khalil Dinkins. That didn't work. Ohio State comes up with a goal line stand, and Penn State fans, they're in shock. Ohio State would run out the clock on their ensuing drive, and they get the victory. The Buckeyes do 20-13. Their 8th straight win against Penn State. Here's Ryan Day.
These guys want it, and one of the things we talked about this week was that, in life you're going to have these opportunities where you got to go will yourself to win, and you got to go take something. You got to go find a way to get that thing done, whether it's for your family, in your career, or in the game of football. And our guys did that today. They did, and I'm really happy for this team. I'm happy for the seniors, and I think this is going to springboard us moving forward.
I understand their frustration. Guys in the locker room are just as frustrated, if not more, but college football has changed. And we have an opportunity moving forward to right some wrongs from today. And that's what we're going to focus on. I get it. We get an unbelievable crowd here. We get unbelievable support. You don't do that without passion. And there's great things that come from that, and there's hard things that come from that. That's part of the job. That's part of the job, and I own it all.
He owns it. Penn State falls to 1-10 against Ohio State under head coach James Franklin. An unfortunate trend continues for Penn State overall as they lost their 18th straight game against an AP top 5 opponent while also being ranked in the AP poll. That's the longest such streak in the poll era and 4 more consecutive losses than any other team over that span.
Number 1 Oregon on the road in Ann Arbor. Ducks already beat Ohio State. Big Ten newcomers trying to knock off Michigan as well in their first Big Ten season. See, first time at 8-0 since 2013. Michigan's lost 8 straight games against number 1 teams. Dylan Gabriel, Evan Stewart. Great effort from Stewart to come down with it. It appeared to hit the ground, but the play stood after a review, and Oregon up 7-0. Later first quarter, Davis Warren to Tyler Morris, and Michigan ties it at 7. We go second quarter now. First play of the quarter. Gabriel with plenty of time. Going to hit Terrence Ferguson. who will get down to the 1-yard line, stop just short of the goal line. First and goal for Oregon. Gabriel threw for 294 yards in the game. Next player, Noah Whittington. He had 2 touchdowns. Jordan James had another touchdown and 117 yards rushing. Oregon back up 14-7. 40 seconds to go in the half. Gabriel, the Heisman front runner now, putting 6 more on the board. Oregon up 28-10 at the half. Third quarter, 3rd and goal for the Wolverines. Warren backing up, finds Peyton O'Leary for the touchdown. Michigan cuts the deficit to 28-17. Warren threw for 164 yards and a pair of touchdowns. We go 4th quarter now. Wolverines down 31-17 at the Oregon 31. Alex Orji is their run threat at quarterback. He's got it. He's going to pick up a first down, 26-yard run for Orji. Michigan didn't do much on the ground. Donovan Edwards had just 52 yards on 10 carries. 4 plays later, 4th and 5. Dan Lanning said he knew Michigan going to try some trick plays, and they didn't get caught sleeping. Samaj Morgan's pass out of bounds. Lanning and
To Georgia battled Florida at a neutral site known as Jacksonville. Carson Beck, that's his hometown, Jacksonville, Florida. How would he do? Early second, Georgia up 3-0, 1st and 10, Gators territory. Beck into double coverage, and it's picked off by Devin Moore. Moore returns at 32 yards into Georgia territory. When this game was over, Beck's numbers, 11 interceptions in his last 5 games. He had 3 in this game. Next play, DJ Lagway. Look who's wide open. Aiden Mizell, that's a touchdown, 43-yard touchdown for Mizell. And the Gators are up 7-3. 5:14 to play in the second, 10-3 now. Lagway takes it himself, couple of yards, goes down on the play. He appears to slip on the run. His leg buckled. And then he's surrounded by teammates as he's carted off the field with a hamstring injury, and he would not return. So that left the offense in the hands of the freshman walk-on, Aiden Warner. Now Georgia's down 13-6 early in the third. Beck gets hit as he throws, and Jack Pyburn comes up with another pick. Beck, 3rd game with 3 and more interceptions this season, most of any FBS player. And Kirby Smart is seen yelling at his quarterback to get it going. After a Gators punt, Georgia driving Nate Frazier. Ties the game at 13. Frazier imitating the Gator chomp, and he's called for unsportsmanlike conduct. Smart livid. Here's what Smart had to say post-game on this play.
Just don't be stupid, man. Like we're not selfish people at Georgia. You know, we don't. I mean, I'm not interested in all the shenanigans. We're meat and potatoes. We roll our sleeves up and we go to work every day. I'm not interested in you know, gator chomping and throat slashing. It's not respectful. I mean, I want to be respectful of the game and the people we play, and I think the best way to attack somebody is beat them.
All right, enough with the shenanigans. 3:18 to play in the third. Florida on for the field goal to take the lead. Botch snap, mad scramble, and Georgia comes up with it, and Georgia is now in excellent field position after that botched field goal attempt. Couple plays later, Georgia 1st and 10. It's Beck finding Cash Jones. Money, 22-yard touchdown. Beck, 309 passing yards. Georgia now up 20-13. 4th quarter, 6 minutes left to play. It's tied at 20. Georgia, 3rd and 7 at their own 28. Beck under pressure, but he finds a wide open Arian Smith, who gets by the defender into Florida territory. That's a gain of 34 and a first down. Later in the drive, 3rd and 3. Beck finding Dominic Lovett. Lovett shakes off a tackle, gets into the end zone, touchdown. Georgia now up 27-20. First play, next drive. Florida, 1st and 10. Backup QB Aiden Warner. He's picked off by C.J. Allen, and Georgia would end up scoring again on excellent field position, and they got the win, 34-20 with more. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit at the game.
Weird game here in Jacksonville, Kirk. Some of the plot lines going in. Carson Beck, hometown against his childhood team, was so easy for him last year. That didn't happen. He threw 3 picks. He responded. DJ Lagway, the quarterback for the Gators, goes out with an apparent hamstring injury. ETN really wasn't a factor against his former team at all. It was weird.
Yeah, everything we thought was going to play out didn't. You know, and therefore we had a really close game. It looked like, you know, Georgia at one point, I think, scored 14 straight points. They went up. They had the lead. The crowd was going crazy. The game was over. Not so fast, my friend. Florida found a way to get points on the board to tie it up, and it really made it for an intriguing game. So Georgia's learned a lot today, made some mistakes, probably got better, and get ready for Ole Miss next week.
Yeah, Ole Miss and then Tennessee. Those are the next 2 for the Dogs. Meanwhile, For Penn State, the misery continues against Ohio State. They've lost 8 in a row now to the Buckeyes. They had that 1st and goal late in the game, but the Ohio State 3 could not get it in 4 plays.
Yeah, Ohio State's defense stepped up and made some big plays down in that red area, that low red area. There's a couple things here. Number one, Ohio State, huge win on the road. Confidence builder for Ryan Day and his team as they go on the rest of the season. Could not afford to lose a game. And on the other side for Penn State, in the new world that we live in with 12 teams playoff, in the past, all those 7 previous losses, probably elimination. Now, be interesting to see Tuesday night where they show up in the rankings. But if they win out 11-1, avoid Indianapolis in a Big Ten championship, and be in the playoff.
Yeah, you throw in Oregon and undefeated Indiana. You got 4 teams in the Big Ten looking very good in terms of a playoff type resume.
5 Miami's been living on the edge just about every week. Canes hoping for a stress-free Saturday when they hosted Duke. Early third quarter, Duke up 21-17. 4th and 1 on the Miami 6. Malik Murphy, Jordan Moore, touchdown. Murphy, 25 of 41, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns. Later in the quarter, Cam Ward to Xavier Restrepo. Miami down 28-25 after they went for 2 and got it. Ensuing Duke drive, Murphy looking deep, but intercepted by O.J. Frederick Jr., and he's going to take it all the way to the Duke 38. We mentioned the 3 touchdowns for Murphy. Also had 3 interceptions. Costly mistake there. Miami with 1st and goal. Elijah Lofton getting there. Miami up 32-28. Early 4th, Miami up 32-31. 2nd and 8 at the Duke 49. Ward to Jacoby George. Gone. Miami extends the lead to 39-31. Ward also lit it up with 5 touchdowns, 25 of 41, 400 yards for him. Miami would get the ball back later. Joe Tessitore, what do you have?
4 touchdown passes and another Miami lead. And stuff like that, here goes Restrepo. Welcome to the record books, your number 1. Most catches, most yards in the grand history of this program, and his mom, Ashley, is loving it.
They've had some great ones. Play receiver for the Canes, including Mike Irvin, the guy you saw there. Restrepo, 8 catches, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns. Canes roll again. Here's Jesse Palmer.
Well, after another impressive win against Duke, Miami now sitting at 9-0. And a big question, what is the ceiling for this football team? Is Miami a national championship caliber team? I think when you look at their roster, there's a lot to love. Most importantly, number one, this offense, they are going to score on anybody. They don't have one positional weakness on the offensive side of the ball. And at quarterback, they might have the Heisman Trophy winner in Cam Ward. You know, championships are also won in the trenches. Miami offensively can run the football. They're physical up front, and defensively their D-line is very disruptive. This is not a perfect team, though. I think one of the biggest issues positionally is the secondary. Throughout the year, we've seen the secondary bust on coverages. We've seen missed tackles. We've seen bad angles that have led to explosive plays. And so then you wonder, if Miami were to play against an Oregon or an Ohio State or a team like Georgia with a really good receiving room, might that come back to bite Miami in the postseason? Here's the special part. As long as they have Cam Ward under center, this team can beat anybody because he's that special of a player.
Only unbeaten team in SEC games this season, Texas A&M entering Saturday. Aggies 7-1 overall, 5-0 in the SEC, on the road at South Carolina. Opening drive of the game, 2nd and 1 for South Carolina on Texas A&M's 23. Lenora Sellers keeps it and puts it in the end zone. South Carolina on the board, first 7-0. Sellers ran for 106 yards. Later in the first, Sellers going play action now. A dart to Joshua Simon for a touchdown. It's 14-0 Gamecocks. Sellers threw for 244 yards. Early second, it's 17-6 now. Texas A&M trailing. Amari Daniels makes it through the pile, and he's gone 56 yards for the touchdown. Texas A&M cuts it to 17-13. Later in the second, Marcel Reed, who caught LSU by surprise last week, goes play action, finds Jabri Barber for the touchdown. Reed threw for 206 yards, but only ran for 46 on 16 carries. Texas A&M goes up 20-17. They were tied at 20 at halftime. Early third, still tied. 3rd and 1 for South Carolina. Raheem Rocket Sanders, living up to the nickname. 52 yards for the touchdown. He toted it 20 times for 144 yards. South Carolina up 27-20. Now in the 4th, Sellers fakes the handoff and finds Simon, who takes it all the way for 57-yard touchdown. South Carolina 44-20 over the Aggies. They came close against LSU and Alabama. They finally get a marquee win in the SEC, 44-20.
Undefeated number 11 Iowa State hosting Texas Tech. Bit of a rainy one in Ames, Iowa. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third. Texas Tech trailing 13-10. 3rd and 6 from the Iowa State 19. Baron Morton just lobs it to Josh Kelly, and Kelly's going to make the catch for the touchdown. Great focus there. Nice throw. Better catch from Kelly with a defender draped all over him. Texas Tech leads 17-13. Under 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter now. Iowa State down just 1. 3rd and 13 from the Texas Tech 44. Rocco Becht. Looking, finding Carson Brown. Brown does the rest, breaking a couple of tackles, taking it to the house. 44 yards. Becht, 23 of 39, 299 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Iowa State would go for dose. That's right, the ensuing 2-point try. Becht rolling right, trying to hit Jalen Noel, but the pass falls incomplete, so the score remains 22-17. The ensuing Texas Tech possession, Red Raiders going for it on 4th and 7 from their own 43. Morton finding Kelly. That's a first down. Drive continues for Texas Tech. That was huge. Later in the drive, just over a minute to play, 1st and 10. Morton, he's going to find Kelly. What a catch along the sideline. What body control from Kelly to get his feet in bounds. 8 catches for 127 yards, 2 TDs, only need 1 foot. Red Raiders just outside the red zone. Later in the drive, under 40 seconds left, Morton lobbing it to Jordan Brown, who makes the catch, but just shy of the goal line. Brown will make the catch barely short of the end zone, but Texas Tech with the ball, though, inside the 1 and 24 seconds left. Texas Tech 2nd and goal from the 5 after a false start. Taj Brooks. That'll do it. Brooks, 25 carries, 122 yards, and that touchdown. Iowa State coach Matt Campbell can't believe it because Texas Tech just pulled off the upset, taking out number 11 Iowa State 23-22.
Go for Dose is brought to you by Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly.
With college football playoff rankings around the corner, there is no one ranked higher than Heather Dinich. To give us the latest on a wild Saturday, Heather, let's begin with Ohio State knocking off Penn State. What are the ramifications from that game?
Linda, Ohio State's win at Penn State gave the Buckeyes the opportunity to be the selection committee's highest-ranked one-loss team in the first ranking ahead of Georgia. That depends on if the committee values Ohio State's win at Penn State over Georgia's win at Texas. But they could view Ohio State's 1-point loss at Oregon as a better loss than Georgia's loss to Alabama. What it does to Penn State is it puts them in a precarious position, obviously, for the Big Ten Conference Championship game. Their most ideal scenario right now is playing for a first-round home game, and Penn State just missed out on its best opportunity to impress the selection committee because it might not have any wins against ranked opponents, even as a one-loss team, with their best win right now coming against Illinois that just lost to Minnesota.
And Heather, as you know, 7 top 25 teams overall lost on Saturday. Those were the losers, but who were the big winners to come out of those results?
Linda, one of the biggest winners was Notre Dame because there was going to be a huge question in that committee meeting room about their home loss to Northern Illinois, and that should not be an issue anymore. Notre Dame should have a firm spot in the committee's 12 when it's released on Tuesday, along with Boise State, which is leading the Group of 5 race as the 5th highest ranked conference champion because they're at the top of the Mountain West Conference standings right now. They've got a Heisman hopeful in Ashton Jeanty, the nation's leading team when it comes to sacks and the number 3 scoring offense in the country. But I would also throw 2-loss Alabama back into the conversation. The Tide is one of the top teams in ESPN's strength of record metric. And by the way, they now have a loss to a bowl-eligible Vanderbilt team, which certainly doesn't look as bad as it did that day, and one of the best wins in the country against Georgia. So don't count out the Tide. I would actually count them in.
Yeah, that's such a great point about Alabama, Heather. And the first college football playoff rankings debut Tuesday already on ESPN. We'll know a lot more then. Well, you'll know a lot more then, that's for sure. You know more than all of us. Heather, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Linda.
How much